Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't want to go after that. It's not funny. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Humza Arshad. I am a YouTuber / comedian / extremely good looking, obviously. Why are you laughing? That's really rude. That hurt my heart. Anyway, let me basically I have the impossible task of talking about my journey in the next 7 minutes, okay? But I'm gonna go for it and I'm gonna speak very fast, so just keep up. Okay, it starts with comedy. I love comedy. And the reason why I love comedy is this. Because life is tough. It's very tough. There's no point in sugarcoating it, it's very tough. And there's gonna be times where we're sad, we feel upset, sometimes even depressed. But this is why I love comedy. Because let's just say I say a joke, and one person in the audience laughs. It doesn't matter how much pain that person has felt or is feeling at that moment of time. But in those 10 seconds when they're laughing, they forget everything. And I think that's the most beautiful thing you can do for another human being, and that's why I do comedy today. However, I had one small obstacle. My Pakistani dad. Has anyone got a Pakistani dad? Anyone? Have you got a Pakistani dad? No? Why not? Get one. eBay. Yeah. I'm joking. Save your money. Save your money. My dad, he's dangerous, okay? He's fully dangerous. If he was here right now, he would go to Walmart with socks and sandals at the same time. That's a true story, by the way. It's not funny. It's a true story. Honestly, my dad, I remember him having the talk with me, about what he wants me to be when I grow up. He speaks very funny. He speaks like this. Well, you see, the thing is, Hamza. And this is the thing with Pakistani dads. What they would do is they would start talking, and halfway through a conversation, they would start laughing for no apparent reason. And I'm like, why are you laughing? No one said a joke. It's proper creepy, like borderline exorcist creepy. But anyway, this is what he said. Well, you see, the thing is, Hamza, I was doing a lot of thinkings. And I'm thinking that you should be a doctor. Yes, yes. Genuinely, I could never be a doctor because I would probably kill more people than I would save, okay? I wanted to be an entertainer. But at the same time, and I don't want to pull out the race card, but back then it was different. Diversity was a big issue back then. It still is now, but it was a bigger issue back then. And I realized that I am a brown Asian Pakistani. It was just going to be harder for me. But anyway, I started, auditioning anyway. But I kept getting those, those stereotypical roles. Like I always found myself playing the part of terrorist number 2. Just one line. Allahu Akbar! And that's it. No, that was part of the act, by the way. Just want everyone to know that before I get shot. Okay. It's a bit awkward now. And I didn't like that. I knew I deserved better. I wanted something better for myself. I wanted something bigger for myself. I wanted to play the part of terrorist number 1 because that's where the real money is at. Good money. But then I found YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Humza Productions. Check it out. Subscribe. Cheeky little plug-in, but subscribe seriously. And I started doing videos, and I did this thing called Diary of a Bad Man. And I remember my first video. It was so cool because in the space of 24 hours, do you know how many views I got? Are you ready for this? I don't think you're ready, but I'm going to tell you anyway. 5,000 views. Yeah, I know, it's a bit rubbish, but I genuinely thought that I am now an A-lister. Because either I have 5,000 fans all around the world, or I have that one creepy guy that lives in his mom's basement that has seen my stuff 5,000 times in the space of 24 hours. But either way, I was still an A-lister. And then my videos started getting millions and millions of views, and my life changed. But this is the thing, I didn't want to just do comedy. I wanted there to be a point with my comedy. I wanted to help people, and I wanted to make them think. I started getting involved with a lot of charities. And I started doing loads of campaigns, like things like anti-knife campaign and anti-bullying, Islamophobia. And then now I am officially an ambassador for YouTube, for the Creators for Change. And genuinely, hand on heart, it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And then I did this. I didn't join ISIS, by the way. The timing was wrong. I shouldn't have did it like that. I would never join ISIS. Never. That's wrong. Well, it depends how much money they pay anyway. But I'm joking. No, I'm only joking. No, we all have a price. And then the guy on the right with the gun, that's my cousin, Tariq. Such a sweet guy. You got to meet him. He's such a nice guy. Never calls me, though, on Christmas. I think he's too busy playing Call of Duty. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, this is something that I got into. I started help preventing young kids from being radicalized, okay? And there was a story that really triggered it off and started everything, and it's this story here. Now, it's a story about these 3 young girls in East London, and they became jihadi brides. Now, let me tell you how it works. Basically, they're these disgusting people, and they would prey on young, vulnerable girls through social media, and they would, speak to these girls, and they would manipulate them, and they would brainwash them into thinking that they're doing this for God. And these young girls would be convinced to leaving their families, their loved ones, their homes, their lives, and they would end up going halfway across the world to Syria, end up marrying some really, really old guy that they've never met before in their life, and they will find out that they will never be able to return. And the reason why this really triggered something in me is because I knew one of these girls. I knew her brother very well. And let me tell you something, it destroyed them. And when I realized they were just a normal, average, beautiful family, and I realized if that could happen to them, it could happen to anyone. And I was so busy at the time, but I knew I had to do something, okay? I had to do something, so I stopped everything, started talking to the police, then I started speaking to schools, colleges, I started doing shows, 500, 600, 700 people at a time. I think in 1 year, I did over 130 shows, and I performed to over 80,000 young people. And only recently, I was at Scotland Yard, and I was given an award. Well, it wasn't an award, it was more of a cheap piece of paper, but I took it anyway. And no, it was really nice. I'm so grateful. Anyway, the fact of the matter is I took it, and an officer actually said to me that now the amount of girls that are going off to Syria to becoming, jihadi brides is 0. Now, I'm not saying that's because of me, not at all. No, yeah, thank you. You know what, I'll take it. And let's go. Thank you. And I'm not saying it's because of me, but if I knew I had 1% to do with that, just 1, then I know I've done my job. But yeah, thank you. Let's do it again. Thank you. I'm going to tell my mum about this. Anyway, it's like 2 claps, and I'm brown. Okay, then basically, I've been doing loads of different things, and it's great because the best thing about YouTube is I have a community behind me that I'm representing. Okay, and I can talk about a lot of things because I believe, and this is just my personal opinion, but I believe that in this day and age, the media portrays, Muslims in a very negative light, especially in London. You'd always see these crazy headlines all the time, like, Muslim this, and, Islamic this, and, evil Muslim dog attacks grass, and, evil Muslim terrorists forced the queen to wear the hijab, No, her ears were just cold. Her ears were just cold. They were just cold. She was cold. Her ears were cold. But mashallah. Anyway. We're winning. No. But, with everything and, with Creators for Change, I've been able to have a voice. And I've been, doing so many crazy things. And I've been New York Times, LA Times, Washington Post. And this is not fake news, by the way, just to let you know. It's not fake news. It's real. And yet it's been incredible. And I just want to leave with something that I've learned as a young child, as a Muslim, and I just want to share this with you today, okay? We believe that God says, if you kill one person, to God that's like killing the whole of mankind. But he also says, if you save one person, just one, to God it's like saving the whole of mankind. That's what Islam has taught me. And, it will be great if I can make people laugh, and it'll be great to make a few think. But along the way, if I can change your life, then I've done my job. Thank you. My name is Humza Arshad. Thank you.